The inheritance that cursed a family. When wealthy recluse Arthur Hargrove died, his family thought they'd hit the jackpot. $15 million, a mansion, a second chance at happiness. But there was a catch. To claim the inheritance, they had to live together, under one roof for a full year. At first, it seemed easy, but then the lies began, the whispers, the late-night arguments behind locked doors. This is the story of the Hargrove family and the inheritance that cursed them all. When Arthur Hargrove died, the world barely noticed. He'd lived his final years alone, hidden away in a crumbling mansion at the edge of Maine, a recluse with a vast fortune scattered across properties, art, and accounts. But when word of his death reached his family, their silence broke. They hadn't spoken to Arthur in years, but the moment money entered the conversation, they all came running. His son, Michael, is a businessman drowning in debt. His daughter, Claire, is an artist desperate for recognition. And his ex-wife, Lydia, a woman who had lost everything in the divorce. They gathered inside the Hargrove mansion to hear the will. A lifetime of bitterness and one final test. Arthur left them everything, the estate, the fortune, the legacy, but with a single impossible condition. They had to live together in the mansion for 1 full year. If any of them left before the year was complete, the entire inheritance would be forfeited and revert to the state. On the final page of the will, Arthur had written one sentence: "To my family, may this fortune show your true selves." At first, it didn't seem so bad. The mansion was enormous. 50 rooms, servants' quarters, a private library, a collection of vintage cars. A small staff had been paid in advance to care for them. They had money, comfort, time. For a moment, they even tried to act like a family again. Michael took long walks through the property, planning how he'd invest his share. Claire spent hours painting in the sunroom, finally free to create. Lydia stayed quiet, polite but cold, always watching, always calculating. For the first few weeks, it was almost peaceful. Almost. Then the fractures began to show. Michael wanted to sell the mansion, arguing that a year of waiting was madness. Claire refused. She said it was their father's legacy, something to be preserved, not traded. Lydia wanted full control over the finances. Dinner conversations turned sharp. Little resentments grew teeth, and the walls of the mansion seemed to absorb every ounce of tension. By the 3rd month, the staff had quit. They said the family's constant fighting made the place unbearable. Some claimed they heard voices at night, arguments echoing through the halls when no one was awake. After that, the house went silent. It was just the 3 of them. And that's when the secrets began. Michael met with lawyers behind closed doors, searching for loopholes to escape the contract. Claire started selling furniture and artwork, telling herself it was to fund her creative projects. Lydia hired a private investigator to search for Arthur's rumored offshore accounts. Each believed the others were hiding something. Each was right. What began as greed turned into obsession. They wandered the mansion at night, searching through locked rooms, opening safes, tearing through drawers, looking for more. Always more. By the 6th month, it all came apart. Michael discovered Claire's secret sales. Claire caught Lydia's investigator rummaging through her studio. They confronted each other in the dining room, accusations, shouting, glass breaking. Decades of resentment erupted in a single night of chaos and destruction. When the police arrived, they found the mansion in shambles. Artwork destroyed, blood on the floor, a gun fired once. No one was seriously hurt. But the condition of the will was clear. They had failed. The moment the police were called, their year of unity was over. The estate was seized for investigation. The inheritance was void. $15 million gone. The mansion was sealed, then left empty. Within months, the Hargrove family scattered. Michael filed for bankruptcy. His debts crushed him. He was last seen leaving a courthouse, muttering that Arthur had set him up. Claire disappeared overseas. Some say she's in Italy, living under a new name, selling counterfeit art. Others say she drowned in a storm off the coast of Spain. Lydia lives alone in a small apartment on the edge of town. She spends her days reading old newspapers and her nights staring at a photograph of the mansion. Neighbors say she still talks to Arthur, as if he can hear her. A year later, the Hargrove estate was auctioned to strangers. They cleaned the rooms, repaired the roof, and repainted the walls. But something lingered. Local workers claimed to hear voices echoing through the halls. Faint arguments, footsteps, the sound of a chair falling. At night, lights flickered on in rooms that had been locked for months. Some say the family never truly left, that the mansion still holds them, trapped in their endless fighting, forever chasing a fortune that no longer exists. Arthur Hargrove had wanted his wealth to unite his family, to force them to reconcile, to live together again under one roof. But money doesn't fix what's broken. It only magnifies the cracks. His inheritance didn't save the Hargroves. It revealed them, their greed, their envy, their hunger for control. And in the end, Arthur got what he wanted. He saw who they really were. So if you ever dream of inheriting a fortune, remember the Hargroves. Some treasures aren't gifts. They're traps. And sometimes money doesn't curse you. It just permits you to become who you truly are. Subscribe for more dark money stories where greed always gets the last word.